Welcome back to Birds of a Feather. This is your daily Baltimore sports podcast. My name is Nathan Stroud, and today we're going to be recapping the Orioles and Rays Game 4. This was the series finale in this 4-game series against the Tampa Bay Rays on the road in Tampa. And the Orioles come out here today and get a very big, much needed win over the Rays, especially after everything that happened yesterday with how they lost that game yesterday, blowing an 8-run lead. They go out there today. They get a big win over the Rays. They win 4-1. Wasn't necessarily, a high-scoring game, but the pitching was phenomenal in this game. After the disaster class of yesterday, I really got to shout out Charlie Morton, man. He went out there today, got through 6 innings. He was incredible this game. Got through 6 innings, only gave up 1 run. And as I said yesterday, with the Orioles using 6 different guys out of their bullpen yesterday, with a lot of guys getting taxed, with a lot of the guys out of the bullpen throwing a lot of pitches yesterday, a lot of our bullpen was very taxed. And, we really needed a great start from our starting pitcher tonight, which was Charlie Morton. And he went out there. He was excellent. Going into this game today, and I talked about it in yesterday's show, I had doubts. I had a little bit of doubts about Charlie Morton because the last time that he was in this scenario, the Orioles, got 24 runs scored on their head, where Charlie Morton just wasn't able to go far into the game, and then it was just kind of over. So, I had my doubts. I had my doubts going into this game, but Charlie Morton was able to, like he's done a lot recently, prove a lot of people wrong. It really has been like a tale of 2 halves, I guess, so far this season. Not necessarily halves of like the full season, but as of right now, I mean, Charlie Morton recently has been excellent, but obviously at the start of the year he was horrible. So it's been a tale of 2 halves for Mr. Morton to start this season. But again, the Orioles got a big win over the Rays. They win 4-1. They split the series against the Rays 2-2, and they needed to get this win, man. If they lost, they would have lost the series, but at the minimum, they did split it. Going into the series, I said that what I want the most is obviously for them to win or sweep, but at the very minimum, splitting the series wouldn't necessarily be the worst thing in the entire world, because again, it is a 4-game series, so you are actually able to split the series. But before we go much further into this episode, I do want to talk real quick about Hunter Big, who is a reliever for the Tampa Bay Rays. He got hit by a 105-mile-per-hour ball. He was in the dugout for Tampa. Adley Rutschman was up at bat. He had a ball foul, and it went back into the dugout for the Rays, and it hit Hunter Big near the face area. There was a lot of blood. It was very graphic. But he did, there was a stretcher, there was a cart, there was all this stuff. It was a very scary sight to see. But he did throw up the thumbs up, as he was getting carted off. So, it's good to see that he, can move. He has all his extremities, is a little bit, obviously conscious enough to throw up the thumb. So, prayers up for him. It was a very scary sight to see, with the stretcher and the cart and all that stuff and all the players on a knee and everything like that. Very scary sight. Prayers up to Hunter Big. And yeah, it's cool. It's good to see that he, had the thumb up and everything. It was good to see that. But just wanted to, say that real quick at the beginning of the episode because it was a very, scary thing that happened. And and Adley, it was in the middle of his at-bat. He got, he went back to the batter's box, and I don't know how he was even able to keep going in the game. He looked, terrified for good reason, but hope everything is good with him, and prayers up for real for Hunter Big, and hopefully he can recover and everything is good with that. But let's get into this game. So going over this Orioles and Rays game in the in the series finale, in this one particular series. The Orioles win this game 4-1. They move to 31-42. Actually, no, that should be different. It should be 32. Yep, 32-42 on the season. Only 10 games below 500. They have yet to be able to crack that double-digit deficit. Obviously, it's been a pretty long time since it's been in the single digits. Once they hit double digits, we haven't gone back down to single digits. So we're on the verge of getting there. We've been really close over the past few days, but obviously going into the series, we were 10 games below 500, and after the series, we are still 10 games below 500 because we split the series 2-2. So we didn't really make any progress necessarily on getting closer to being 500, but it didn't get worse. So, there's a good and a bad with that. But again, the Orioles win this game 4-1. Charlie Morton, an excellent game from Charlie. He got into some trouble. There was a lot of traffic on the base paths for Charlie. He gave up 6 hits in this game, but he did only give up 1 run. We'll discuss more about the pitching in a second. But going over the offense, it wasn't necessarily anything too crazy. The offense put up 6 total hits in this game, 4 total runs scored. They left 7 guys on base, went 2 for 6 with runners in scoring position. So not too bad with that. But we'll go over, the big player of the game on offense in a second. But Jackson Holliday in this game leading off went 1 for 5. Adley Rutschman 0 for 4. Gunnar Henderson 1 for 2 with 2 runs scored. Jordan Westberg 0 for 4. Ryan O'Hearn 1 for 4 with an RBI. Ramon Laureano goes 1 for 2 with a run scored. And then Colton Cowser. This is the man of the hour. Him and Charlie Morton are the man of the hour in this game. Colton Cowser, man, there's something in the air in Tampa. There's something in that Tampa Bay air recently with Colton Cowser because he has hit a home run in 3 straight games and 3 straight days for Colton Cowser. That's 3 straight homers for him. He hit a homer in Game 2 of the series. He hit a game yesterday, and he hit a homer 2 days ago, a homer yesterday, and he hit a home run tonight. And it was a big homer. This was the game-deciding home run of the game. It was the go-ahead home run. It happened in the 6th inning, and the Orioles pitching was able to hold off from there, and the Orioles were able to secure the win. But Colton Cowser goes 2 for 4 in this game with a 3-run home run in the 6th inning. That was really the nail in the coffin. At the time, it necessarily wasn't the nail in the coffin because it was still a 3-run game. But the Orioles pitching and their bullpen was really able to shut this game down. Pretty much the complete opposite of what happened yesterday. But Colton Cowser with a huge clutch 3-run home run. Definitely player of the game on offense. Also got 2 hits in this game as well. Only player with multiple hits in this game. So shout out to Colton Cowser. His average is back up to a 200, which you'd love to see. And obviously 3 straight games with a home run. And let's see if he can make it 4 tomorrow in that series opener against the Yankees. But Ramon Urias goes 0 for 3, and Cedric Mullins goes 0 for 3. So offensive-wise, did fine. Not, an incredible amount of runs, not an incredible amount of people on base, but it was enough to get the win thanks to the pitching and also obviously the Colton Cowser 3-run bomb. But going over to the pitching, Charlie Morton, obviously I talked about it earlier. He gets the win in this game, and he deserved it very, very, very much. An excellent game from Charlie. He is now 4-7 on the season. And again, if you look back to what Charlie Morton's season was like early on in the year, he was 0-7, and he has won 4, not necessarily 4 in a row, but he's gotten 4 wins without getting credited a loss, which is really, really, really good to see for a pitcher that you paid that much money to. I know we want to talk about the contract we gave him. I know we want to talk about the signing, but Charlie Morton has really turned his season around for the better. And it's something you love to see, man. I mean, people can question the signing. Obviously, I'm one of those people that's also going to question the signing just because of the age and the money that we gave him. But Charlie Morton had an excellent game. He's really turned his season around, and that's really, really, really cool to see. Charlie in this game goes 6 innings, gives up 6 hits, 0 walks, and gives up 1 earned run with 7 strikeouts in the process. So only gave up 6 hits. He also had 0 runs across 6 innings, which is really good to see. Only gave up that 1 run and had 7 strikeouts in the process. So a great game from Charlie. His ERA is now below a 6. And, for most people, obviously, you will sit there and say, oh, it's a 5.64 ERA. That's horrible. And, for the most part, it is. But for Charlie Morton, whose ERA was sitting at an 11 at the beginning of the season and sitting at above a 10 for a while, he has really turned the season on, man. Recently, Charlie's been excellent in his starts, and it's really cool to see, man. It's really cool to see. I'm happy that Uncle Charlie is getting the season turned around, so that's good to see from him. But Seranthony Dominguez in this game, and Gregory Soto, Felix Bautista obviously getting the save, and Brian Baker. All of those guys out of the bullpen did excellent. Those guys gave up a couple walks, couple hits, but, they got into some traffic, but they were able to get through it. So Anthony Dominguez, Gregory Soto, Brian Baker, and Felix Bautista do not give up a single run. None of them give up a run. And then Felix Bautista obviously gets his 15th save of the year, locking it down. 1 inning, 0 hits, 0 runs, 0 walks, and 2 strikeouts for Felix. You love to see it, man. That's the mountain. He's getting his season back on track. He was obviously struggling with walks, struggling with getting into some traffic, but it's nice to see him get a clean, nice, perfect little inning right here in this. Well, not a perfect inning, but you know what I mean. Just a very clean shutout inning for Felix Bautista. So, again, the Orioles split the series 2-2. This was a much, much, much needed win for the Orioles in this game. Obviously, you don't want to lose a series from here on out, or for as long as you can until you get back to being 500, or just until you're in a decent position in terms of like a playoff spot. But the Orioles didn't lose this game. They fought in this game. Obviously, the pitching fought in this game, and Colton Cowser was able to hit that 3-run bomb, which was the dagger in this game for the Orioles. So they tied this game. They tied this series up against a very tough Tampa opponent who, Tampa is obviously been one of the bigger surprises of this season. They're 41-34. They have one of the better records in baseball, and it's a team that a lot of people had getting last place in this division. So, shout out to them. Obviously, we're still going to play them like 8 more times this year, so we'll still see plenty of Tampa Bay. We actually will see them next weekend, so that'll be interesting to see them again. But yeah, let's go over to this series that we're starting tomorrow, and that is going to be against the Yankees in New York. I think this is a 3-game series, if I'm correct. Yeah, this is a 3-game series against the Yankees. It's our weekend series against the good old Yankees. We know them well. They refer to us as the little brother. Us and the Mets, they refer to as the little brother. Obviously, we're the little brother division, I guess, and the Mets are the little brother in just the city of New York. So, again, the Orioles have had the Yankees' number when it comes to like the past 2 seasons, even including this season, because the Orioles actually got a series win over the Yankees earlier this season. Back when things weren't really looking good for the Orioles, they took 2 out of 3 from them early on in the season. I think it was only their 2nd series win of the year back at the end of April. So it's going to be interesting. And tomorrow's game is going to be must-watch TV. Maybe not must-watch TV to the entire, MLB community, but it is going to be a very good game with the best pitching matchup that this series could offer. It's going to be Tomoyuki Sugano for the Orioles and Max Fried for the Yankees. Max Fried is a guy who I wanted the Orioles to really be aggressive with. They were in conversations to get Max Fried back, or not back, but they were in the conversations to get Max Fried. They were also in conversations to get Garrett Crochet, Nathan Eovaldi, Sean Manaea, all these guys, but they didn't get any of them. Again, we'll talk about that another day, but tomorrow's going to be a really good pitching matchup. Obviously, Tomoyuki Sugano, he's been excellent this season. 5-4 record, 3.3 ERA, 1.1 WHIP, 80 innings, 77 hits, 46 strikeouts. So obviously, we know Tomo's not a big strikeout guy. A lot of the balls that get hit off of him are in play. He's actually like one of the worst pitchers in terms of balls in play. But he is able to keep that ERA low, which is good to see from him. He has struggled a little bit over his past couple of starts, but hopefully he can get back on track against a Yankees team that is pretty cold right now. I think, did they lose today, the Yankees? No, they did win. But the Yankees have lost, 6 of their last 7 games the Yankees have lost. So we're facing the Yankees at a very good time. We're facing them when they're cold. So hopefully the Orioles can go out here and get a series win. Again, worst case scenario, 2 out of 3. Best case scenario is a sweep. Every single 3-game series moving on throughout this season until we get to a decent spot of a record-wise, worst case scenario is going to have to be a 2 out of 3 series win, or like a split series win. Obviously, with what we just had against Tampa, where we split the series against them. But most of the time it's going to be 3-game series that you play. But hopefully, this game is going to be on the road in New York. Hopefully, we can lock in, keep going. Obviously, we are 10 games below 500, but we can get back into the season, man. There's still a lot of time. Tomorrow is the 20th of June, so there is still time to get back into the season. But they really got to start ramping it up soon because the timer's ticking, and the timer's ticking very, very fast for this Orioles team to get back on track. And they got to go out here and get a series win against New York, man. They got to. They have to win this series against the Yankees. Must-win series for them. Obviously, a division opponent. A sweep would be excellent, but, winning 2 out of 3, I'll take that every day of the week. But again, very good pitching matchup tomorrow. Tomo versus Max Fried. Both teams using their best pitcher that they could throw out there. So, it's like game 1 of a playoff series, I guess. Both teams running their number 1 pitchers. But yeah, we'll see what happens. Obviously, the Orioles offense has been on a roll here recently, so hopefully they can keep that up. And hopefully the home run numbers can stay up as well heading into Yankee Stadium. Again, we all know Yankee Stadium, very easy to hit home runs in, so hopefully the Orioles can hit a couple of bombs, or even more than that, this series against the Yankees. But thank you guys so much for tuning into and watching this episode of Birds of a Feather. Whether you're listening on Spotify, watching on YouTube, I appreciate all the support. And whatever platform you're watching on, make sure to click the links in those bios to check out the socials, check out the Instagram, check out the Twitter or X. I'm live tweeting every single game that's going on. I'm posting updates on Instagram, posting updates on Twitter as well. So make sure to give those a follow. But again, if you like this content, make sure to subscribe, make sure to follow, make sure to like the video as well. I appreciate all the support that you guys have given me. Again, the Orioles just split the series against the Rays. We'll take that. That was worst case scenario. So hopefully, going into this New York series, they have to win 2 out of 3, and they gotta win 2 out of 3 or sweep them. Series loss at this point in the season would be very detrimental for this Orioles team, so they just got to go out there, lock in, and keep on going, and keep moving that below 500 number, lower and lower and lower. So yeah. I'll see you guys tomorrow. I'll have an episode up sometime tomorrow night talking about Orioles-Yankees game 1 of that series. Hopefully the Orioles can win. We'll see how it goes. It's going to be a hard-fought fight. Max Fried's a very tough opponent, but we'll see what happens with that. So I'll see you guys in the next one. You have a great sales day. Go O's, go Ravens, and I'll see y'all later. Peace out.